What's going on today, people? We're going to be looking at the DJI Mini 4 Pro. If you see my unboxing video, you should go check that out. Should be a card in the description right here. It's for the DJI Mini 4 Pro, Mini 4 Pro, and the DJI RC-N2. I think a lot of my videos going to focus majority on this. I don't like the hate that it's been getting in, not necessarily hate. I don't like the way it's been getting talked about in the general public, especially for what it is. All right, so for the most part, I guess let me talk a little bit about my background. I have flown FPV drones, so I'm very familiar with how to fly a drone. I'm not the best pilot in the world, but I think I do pretty good for what for where I'm at. And I currently still fly those. Those are really fun. I recently started wanting to get into the camera drones when I started wanting to change how some of my content was looking. Mostly when I run, I just wanted more of a dynamic look when I run, not necessarily holding my arms out, just kind of running. I did run into some problems that I haven't necessarily looked up how to fix. If I can fix them, I'll probably look into it. But I want to be transparent. I did not really look into if I can actually fix these problems. We'll get into those a little bit later. But let's just talk about my experience with the Mini 4 Pro. It's great. Man, for low tier YouTube content, low tier family content, it is amazing, and it's so glad you don't have to get a Park 107 to just fly because it's under 250 grams. As long as you get the standard battery, if you get the other battery, extended battery, then you're over the 250 grams with you. Then you have to register remote ID and everything. So just keep that in mind if you do decide to purchase this. It has been different to fly. It's way different than the other drones I'm used to. Your other drones have like a 0 throttle versus this one. See how see how that bounces back? But I'll show you what it looks like on a regular controller. Here's like an FPV controller, and this is how, see how that throttle is just dropped? It just stays wherever you put it at, as long as you're not going to the side. And that's kind of what I'm used to when I fly. I wasn't used to like the controller and how I was doing that. So this would be something you normally see for FPV drone to fly, right? This is what it normally looks like. And I'll show you what this looks like unfolded. When it's unfolded, it roughly looks like this. Maybe not as colorful as this one is, but it kind of looks like this. But the camera and everything on this one is way more low quality because that's not the function for this one. This one is more for flying, first person view. You got goggles and everything. This one is more for looking at scenery, recording yourself. This can't do tracking, this one can. This one can do GPS if you put a module in there, but this one comes with GPS. So there's some differences in what they're used for and how they're gonna be approached. This is how this one looks when it's off. I still got the gimbal cover on, but it's just, you know what? That's the camera, the sensors. So yeah, it looked roughly, got the same kind of body style, the 4-blade props and stuff like that. Nothing super unique about it. So yeah, those are two different applications. One for mainly camera stuff, the other one for just more fun. And as you'll see in the videos, I've recorded myself, I recorded me and my family walking, I recorded bike riding. As you can see, the active tracking was doing a pretty good job for the most part. There was some times where it didn't really do that great. But again, this is not one of the more expensive drones that got double. It's one of the more fun, hobbyist, cheaper drones for a low budget content creator. I was looking more into it because I did want something that could change the way I create my content. And I wanted something that helps me capture moments with my family a little bit differently going forward. Because I kind of like the video and photography that it can give you sometimes, or just the actions of how you're doing things. I don't know how well it would be in snowboarding. That would be like super interesting to find out, but there you go. It's just a little information on why I personally picked it up. But I want to talk about this controller, right? So everybody who usually get this, they always talking about the fly more package and stuff like that. And you know, for the most part, I do understand, especially if you're gonna fly a lot more, you're doing a lot of flying, that you might want the additional batteries and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. What I tend to not like is that they be like, you know, get the RC-2 controller or C-True controller because, you know, this one just bare bones. But the reality of it is that that controller, for the most part, there's one feature that it does that I actually do like that this one doesn't. But for the most part, that does nothing more than this one. And let me get into it, right? So the difference is for this one, you have to do everything on your phone. So let's say you want to do screen recording, you have to do that on your phone. If you want to do any audio, you would probably have to do that on your phone. Things of that nature. And that's kind of it, because the phone is acting as a screen, and normally you do everything through the screen. Everything, the home button, everything on here still works the same. Nothing is different. The gimbal buttons still work the same. Nothing is different. There's not a huge difference. For the price, I think it's like an additional $200 to $300. I don't think the difference can really justify. Now, personally, when I fly, because I fly before using the screen, I like the screen above my gimbals, not below. Some people, it really don't matter. I'm just telling you what I prefer. So I like having my phone there because that's way better for me, at least to me. And some of the arguments I saw for people not really recommending this was, well, when you use your phone, then you can't accept calls, or you accept the call, you have to get out of screen mode. And I'm just like, no, that's not true. Like, I guess if you have a phone and you don't own a Bluetooth at all, which I can't imagine owning one of these and not owning the Bluetooth. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying most people who own this would probably own some form of a Bluetooth. Then you don't. You don't even have to stop flying. You just answer it on your Bluetooth like you do anything else. There's no difference. I literally don't know where that came from. There's no difference in how you answer your phone. You got a phone, you answer it, cool. Another thing people were mentioning is how the battery's dying. Now, I have not seen my phone battery die since I turned on the charging feature on here, and I have it charging while I'm flying. Now, because I'm only flying one battery, maybe if you're flying 3 or 4 batteries, this is probably something you will care about. No, because even when I fly 3 batteries without charging this at all and having to still charge my phone and have no problems. And if you carry somewhat of a moderate phone and you wanted to do screen recording, you could just scroll down, hit the screen recording button, and that will give you your screen recording just like you would do for the actual controller. Is it a couple extra steps? Yes. Is it worth the $200 or $300 extra just not doing that? No. I think the additional setup might be a dilemma, right? Because you have to pull out your phone, and you have to pop this up, then you got to take this out, put your phone in, plug it in, have it set up, and that might be an additional, that might be additionally annoying to you, considering on the other one you could just power it on and go. But I would argue for the same time that it takes for that one just to turn on, it's the same time it takes you for you to set this up. Once you get familiar with setting it up, it's not hard. It doesn't take that long. So I literally don't understand some of the criticism that's coming with the controller. Like people, like, yeah, I guess recommend the controller because it's a little more convenient if you can afford it. But by no far means is this controller any slouch. This controller does everything that one does. Only thing it doesn't have is the screen. You can still fly it without the screen. You don't need it. So, because there's a way to take off without using the actual feature. So there's a way to take off using the gimbal without using the screen. So yes, should you get the satellite for return phone, everything? Yes, that stuff is important to see, and you should see it, which means you should hook your phone up to it. But there's no reason that I can literally justify saying, yeah, you just need to go with that one because it's $200 or $300 is a little more convenient. I think it's better for you to save the money, investing in batteries. Get 2 or 3 batteries. I think that's a better use of your money than getting 2 or 3 controllers. If you're somebody who's using this super heavy, you're probably not even watching this video because you know what you're looking for, you know what you want. But if you're somebody who's just thinking about buying this and wondering how that NC2 controller is doing, it's fine. Matter of fact, I had the NC3 for the Neo that I unboxed but didn't really like. It's the same thing. There was no difference. So this notion, and I'm not saying people are saying this, but some creators are, and I just completely disagree. This controller is enough for 80% of the people that's gonna be out there flying, right? For the other percentage, maybe the controller is a little more convenient and it's a little easier for them. But this controller here, convenient. I even found a bike mount for it. So, right, you know, shopping for accessories for it, because it's not popular as the other one is, you don't have as many accessories, but I found a bike mount for it, which is all I really needed. So let's kind of get into some of the field testing of the drone. All right, so now we're doing kind of the orbit thing, moving kind of slow. That's a fair thing to say. It's moving kind of slow because I have it on the slow one, just to kind of orbit me slowly because I'm in like a really crowded area. And I don't want like people to come outside or cars to necessarily hit it. So I'd rather it be safe and just kind of orbiting me a little more slowly that way and know what it's trying to do. But yeah, this is the orbit feature and it's doing pretty good. The obstacle avoiding is avoiding things. The gimbal's doing a good job at correcting for it. So yeah, it's pretty good. All right, here we are on the bike. I had some difficulty with the mount, but that's okay. C'est la vie. But we're on the bike, we're traveling, and it's just keeping track of us. We're not going that fast. This is kind of after a couple workouts, so my legs are really spent. But it's not doing a bad job of just keeping up with us, tracking us from the start. And then we'll also have some shots of me doing orbital, where it's orbiting the bike as I'm riding down the street. Like I said, man, I like this thing. This top-down view of riding is real good. As you see, my bike setup includes the DJI Osmo Action 5, and you got the controller spinning around the whole freaking time. So here's just like my quick test of tracking me. Like I figured this is gonna be a lot of people using. Most people are not going through like the woods and stuff like that. Most people are really just on mostly gravel trails, just wanting to track beauty of riding through the city. And that's kind of what this is, the beauty of riding through the city. So here we are, just a quick orbit, seeing how it's gonna like keep tracking me. I will say, when you're not consistent and your speed is changing, then sometimes the drone do struggle to kind of keep track of you because you're changing your speed. But outside of that, it's doing a pretty good job of just tracking me as I'm going down the street. So yeah, like I said, to do the content I'm looking for, I think it is going to be mostly ideal. So as you can see with some of the field testing of the drone, we had a couple hiccups here and there, a couple times where it crashed, but for the most part, for like I said, average day stuff, it's gonna get it done. No, it's not super complicated. I think it's very easy for a lot of people to understand. You don't have to worry about all the gimbal control. There's only one. This is for surely a big fella stamp of approval. I love this thing. It works out great. Do I recommend buying it? Yes. Is it more on the little expensive side? Yes, especially for everything that's going on. It might get even more expensive. So it's one of those things you want to be sure you want before you start buying, because it might be hard to send back, or it might be hard to get your money back depending on where you get it from or who you're dealing with. I have not found any of these on the used market. So if you do, you know, make sure you go through the checks to make sure it's still working, everything is still good. You're all set. That is it for today's video, man. I really want to draw emphasis on this just because I feel like that just doesn't get its own segment in a lot of people's video. When they got this controller, they just blow over it. And it deserves some hype. It's really good for what it does. So I want to give it that hype. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, dislike if you dislike the video. But if you dislike, just leave a couple comments below. Let me know why you might be disliking or disagree with me. Follow for more, and I'll see y'all in the next video.